Sometimes the most powerful way to impact your health is not by adding something to your daily routine, but instead it's by taking something away. I'm going to talk about 4 types of food groups that you can eliminate from your diet to give your body the best chance to heal. I've personally tried to cut all of these out myself and have noticed a huge change in my overall health, so you don't want to go anywhere. But first, I just want to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I release videos on Wednesdays and Sunday on the simplicity of true health. Every subscriber supports my channel and I appreciate it. So firstly, I think it's really important to understand that the body naturally wants to heal. But in order for that to happen, we have to create an environment for it to even be able to heal in the first place. Now, a lot of these foods I'm about to say, healthy people do consume them, but if you have a health condition that you can't seem to shake other than suppressing it through medication, then eliminating these things might be a very good place to try to start. And when you do cut these things out, you will start feeling better, and then you can start adding things back in one at a time and see how your body responds to them. But in my opinion, the most powerful way to deal with any stubborn illness is through elimination as opposed to consumption. So with that being said, let's get into number 4, and we're going to be talking about grains. So the first good thing about taking grains out of your diet is that it eliminates processed foods like pasta, rice, bread, bakery stuff, everything delicious, but it will also reduce your carb intake and therefore reducing your overall insulin levels. So for example, the protein within wheat, which we've all heard of, it's called gluten. The body has a really hard time breaking this protein down for amino acids, and when something is sitting in the body without a purpose and it doesn't go anywhere, it tends to do damage. And when your body's trying to constantly deal with these undigestible proteins, it just takes away from the energy that it could be putting into healing. And if you're worried about how are you going to get your carbohydrates, I highly recommend sweet potato and I highly recommend quinoa. So let's get on to number 3. I'm going to talk about dairy. So a problem with dairy is that most people can't metabolize lactose, which is the sugar within milk. And it's kind of the same idea as it is with gluten. When the body can't metabolize something or break it down, it just sits in the body and does damage. Another big problem with milk is that it contains pesticides, hormones, antibiotics, and it's also been pasteurized, meaning that all of the microorganisms have been killed within it, the good ones and the bad. And like I said before, the body is completely capable of dealing with these things. And a lot of healthy people do drink milk. But if you're dealing with an illness, you have to eliminate these things so your body has more energy to put into healing. So for number 2, let's talk about fast food. And when I say fast food, I'm referring to the damaged fats within fast food. And not just fast food, but restaurant food, because all of these places you're going out to eat cook their food in very highly damaged vegetable oils. So the problem is the molecules that these oils are made of are highly unstable due to the way it's processed. You may or may not have heard of this before, but these unstable molecules are called free radicals. And the bad thing about free radicals is that they go through the body and they destroy healthy cells by destroying healthy molecules that those cells are made of. And this is kind of the reoccurring theme here, because the body is perfectly capable of dealing with free radicals, but only to a certain extent. Your body can easily become overwhelmed with dealing with too much free radicals because in our Western diet, for example, we eat way too much damaged fats. So by massively reducing our exposure to damaged fats, we really just set up this environment for our body to not have to constantly defend itself so it can finally heal. And the number 1 food group that I'm going to suggest you eliminate is refined sugar. And I talked about this in my previous video, but something about refined sugar and the way it causes insulin spike and your blood sugar to spike is a perfect recipe for inflammation in the body. And as we know, inflammation is the culprit behind so much illness. And the reason why I made refined sugar number 1 is you could literally cut this out forever and you would be much better off. There's just no real benefit for putting this in your body. I mean, the only time it would be beneficial is if you were stranded in the desert for 2 weeks and you were dying of starvation and you came across a big bowl of sugar, then yes, you should eat it so you don't die. But other than that, just cut it out. And there you have it. That's my take on what you can cut out in your daily diet to allow your body to finally heal. It's so important just to keep it simple. I mean, there's so much advice out there on what you should be taking, what you should be adding, but what we don't hear a lot of the time is that the most powerful thing is just to stop doing something. So if you decide to cut one of these things out or all of these things out and it does help you, please let me know in the comments below. If you found anything in this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I really appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.